The things I've seen now, they changed me.
Oh, that looks sinister. Fusion Z Gamer, one of the all-time greats when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's content creation. If you don't know who he is, he's basically just a very large Let's Play channel who specializes in playing indie horror games. He's best known for releasing videos about the ending of games literally like 5 seconds after they release.
Holy crap, that's the thing we saw! It's Funtime Freddy. I take it it's probably Sinister, Funtime Freddy.
When I was younger, I used to watch Fusion Z Gamer's videos all the time, just because, you know, I didn't know how to install Fangames as a dumb little kid. So he was my exposure to so many random games that I would have literally never heard about otherwise. A lot of Game Jolt, Unreal Engine, Fredbear free roams. And the reason I'm talking about Fusion Z Gamer so much is because I think he's a big contributor, or kind of the main reason why this topic is even so relevant. Sinister Turmoil was a FNAF fan game back in the day that never actually saw the light of day. And this fan game was claiming to be a lot of things. Most of them weren't true. The one thing that was true is that this fan game was sinister. A fan game that promised to bring all of your favorite Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics into one place and making them just so sinister and messed up.
Springtrap, Phantom Bonnie, Nightmare Phantom Foxy, Sinister Candy, Nightmare Ignited Freddy, Sinister Ignited Chica, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Withered Bonnie, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Sinister Foxy, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Nightmare Chica, Possessed Freddy, Sinister Simon, and Sinister Pop Goes. So
Guys, what one is your favorite? Huggy Wuggy, Seek, Scary Blue?
I really appreciate how Sinister Ignited Freddy and Nightmare Ignited Freddy are the same image. It promised a fully fleshed out story mode with online multiplayer and several playable characters. This game, at the time, truly was looking to be the best fan game ever made. So what better place to start than playing the actual demo that's available?
Get moving! What do I do? Do I fuck with it?
So I played the Sinister Turmoil demo in year 2025, and this is like the purest definition of a walking simulator because that's kind of all you do. Nothing happens. But this was so cool back in the day because it looks awesome. Look at these graphics. 3D FNAF? Looks like Slender the Arrival. Honestly, that's a little rude to Slender the Arrival. I think this is like the middle ground between Slender the 8 Pages and Slender the Arrival's graphics. But yeah, this is the most Unity horror walking simulator game of all time. I really like the flashlight that completely blinds you when you look at anything reflective. Blah, blah, blah!
Bang! All I'm saying is I think Scott Cawthon should have got this guy to make this for the fanverse.
Dude, they should have got Sinister Turmoil in the fanverse.
This could have been like a Transformers 1 situation.
This game has a really good lighting system. I like how the lights blind you when you look into a fridge. But you know, besides the lighting issues and the constant copy-pasted bottles and drawings on the floor, this is a pretty nice looking demo. The protagonist in the game does talk at the beginning and the end, but he's so unbelievably quiet that he might as well not. And he's basically saying nothing. Is he gonna do anything? I bet he isn't.
I'm Freddy.
Nope.
Well...
Why did I do this? Why did I agree? The things I've seen now, they changed me. What happened there 29 years ago made them get up and leave.
This guy does not sound 29.
Rumors that the employees went insane. Now I can see why. I can see how. I can see what made them go insane.
What did you see? This cutscene is so fascinating to me because I think it really just needs to be put into perspective what this guy saw to make this dialogue happen. So let's go over it. So our protagonist walks inside, makes jokey remarks about the facility and the animatronics and such, gets his eyes blinded by the monitors because they're so reflective. Random bottles.
Who knows? Maybe it was for the animatronics.
Maybe the office was for the animatronics. Look at this lighting.
Hey, I'm in Sinister Turmoil. Hey, I'm in Sonic Colors Ultimate.
Walks into the dining room and looks at all the deactivated animatronics with scary sharp teeth and says absolutely nothing about them. Turns on a generator, goes upstairs, goes down an elevator in a weird facility thing, turns on another generator, sees Freddy standing there looking at him, but Freddy is completely docile, not even attacking him. Guy goes up the elevator, leaves unscathed, and that's the traumatic event. That is literally all that happens in this demo. You never get attacked, there's never anything that happens, it is literally you walk around, you turn on 2 generators, and then you leave. The only encounter you have with an activated animatronic goes like this. Sir Freddy, he's looking at me, this is an advanced animatronic.
Dude, he ain't gonna do shit.
Is he not touching the ground? He's floating.
No.
He's like Bonnie, is defying laws of
Dude,
physics.
he might be a spirit.
Taking some notes out of Scott Cawthon's.
There might be a dead kid in there.
I love how he's just like, he was upstairs laying down and somehow he made it here before me, and what he decided to do with all that effort to get down here and use the fucking elevator. He had to use an elevator to get down here, by the way, and he just decided to stand here. The idea of Sinister Turmoil, I think, was a lot more enticing to people than the actual contents of the demo. A 3D free-roam story mode FNAF game was just something that people wanted at the time. This game really did seem too good to be true, but I think a lot of people were just too excited about the idea of like an ensemble FNAF game about exploring abandoned pizzerias and free roam, getting to play online multiplayer with friends. The concept of this game was literally the coolest thing ever as a kid at the time. And I think everybody who heard about it was kind of desperate for it to come out, as dumb as that may seem in retrospect. And this demo for the original version of the game was pretty much all we got. We have no idea what the rest of the story mode could have been like because it never existed. Now, if I had to take a guess, this game turning out the way it did probably was just a result of a developer who was very passionate about this idea, but didn't have the game development experience to actually make it real. Which I've definitely been guilty of myself. I'll start so many projects and realize, wait, I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to make this. I feel like it's just a really common thing for indie developers who are just doing it for fun, which is exactly what FNAF fan games are. This game just got unlucky with the fact that it was very overambitious and it was just never going to be able to deliver on all of it. But hey, the story mode demo wasn't much, but what about the multiplayer demo? Okay, so basically the multiplayer demo has less content. It's not actually multiplayer. You walk around the room as Springtrap, and that's about it. This was definitely the most anticipated part of the game with the most teasers released and everything, and it's kind of crazy to me how the demo is somehow less than the story mode demo was. But hey, let's go over all the teasers that were released for the multiplayer mode, and let's see here. Most of the content existing for Sinister Turmoil is related to this multiplayer mode, so this is pretty dang significant. So let's just go over every single teaser released for Sinister Turmoil. So to start off, here we got the 4 original renders for Sinister Freddy, Sinister Bonnie, Sinister Chica, and Sinister Foxy, and these are just iconic. These are so recognizable at this point, and they're definitely very captivating. Credit where credit is due, these are just some badass renders. And there's some interesting details beyond just the sharp teeth. Like, you can see here, they have 4 rows of teeth, which is very cool. Foxy's are very weird and jagged. It's probably a good time to say that all of the models in Sinister Turmoil, or at least most of them, are edited and retextured versions of the Everything Animations FNAF models, which are the same ones that the Joy of Creation, for example, used. And it's just, like, they look unbelievably better in these renders than they do in the actual game, especially Foxy. Foxy was looking rough in the actual game. Then we gotta look at Sinister Golden Freddy, who has some angry eyebrows going on. He also has much brighter colors than the other ones for some reason. The other ones go for more darker shades from their usual color palette. Chica's a good example, because she's also yellow. Then we can see here with Golden Freddy, he's just still very bright. We also got this iconic They Lied teaser, which I believe is an in-engine screenshot, and this is just a little goofy. Look how he's standing there. Look at that stance. His arms are so, like, spread out. He's not, like... I don't know. This is kind of how he stands in the game, though. He just kind of stands there and looks at you. This is all Sinister Freddy does. We got this iconic Sinister Springtrap teaser. using an edited version of the Everything Animation Springtrap model with a brand new William Afton corpse, which looks much better than the original. If this corpse is ripped from something else, I have no idea, but yeah, that is a different corpse. We got this text at the bottom that says Sinister. There's this Balloon Boy teaser, which I believe is also in-engine, and this one is interesting because it features a completely unique Balloon Boy model, at least as far as I'm aware. And if we go to the next teaser after this, we can see a Sinister puppet, which also uses a unique model. So I guess for whatever reason, certain Sinister animatronics were going to use original designs and models while others weren't. It's an interesting choice, but I guess I'm fine with it. And I should probably mention now that technically not all of these teasers are specifically for the multiplayer mode. It's just, I thought it would be more simple if I mentioned that I was talking about the story mode demo, and then I moved on to the multiplayer mode, because I'm mostly talking about the multiplayer mode, but there are some story mode related teasers in here, so thought I should add that in. And as I was saying, here is a multiplayer teaser, and this is where I get a little bit suspicious about this game, because this is clearly a stats menu for Sinister Freddy in the multiplayer mode. And it appears to be a gameplay screenshot, since there's UI and stuff, but this Sinister Freddy looks way better than the actual in-engine model that we see in the demo. So either it's showing a still render and that's not actually the model loaded in the game, or this is just a completely fake mock-up menu. I'm not too sure, but it is interesting to think about. Considering how little we've actually seen of the multiplayer mode in action, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of it just didn't actually exist. Then we got this teaser for Sinister Toy Freddy, who is a very neat looking model just because he's got these nice glowy nightmare animatronic style eyes, and yeah, he's neat. Then we got this teaser for a Sinister Ennard, supposedly, since this game was trying to do a bit of sister location because that was the newest game at the time. Now here we got another image of the multiplayer menu, and this one seems a lot more set up. And although it does look a bit nicer than I would expect it to look in Unity, I can believe that this Ignited Freddy is running in engine. And we can see he has stats for speed, weight, power, stamina, and strength. He has a sound wave ability, and interestingly, he has Nightmare Ignited Freddy, not Sinister Ignited Freddy. I genuinely have no idea what the difference would be, but okay. And we have another quite sinister menu screenshot featuring FNAF 1 Sinister Bonnie. And you can see that he has an ability called Crunch.
And it makes sense for Bonnie because he's a bigger animatronic and he can definitely pick something up and just crush it and kill it instantly, which is awesome.
We got an image of Sinister Funtime Freddy.
I think it's probably Sinister Funtime Freddy.
Which is clearly a very early on one. Like, I'm pretty sure this is one of the first ever fan models of Funtime Freddy. Don't remember exactly which one, but yeah. Then we got this teaser for Sinister Nightmare Fredbear, and this one looks sick. Like, this is awesome looking. The stretched out eyes, just how long his teeth are, he's very spooky. And this one has the spectacular lighting seen from the original images. And then riding off Ignited Freddy, we got another Fangame character, Candy the Cat. Then we got Sinister Toy Bonnie, who I will say, his render is like 1,000 times better than Toy Freddy's. I don't know why his looks so much better, but it does. We got a render for Sinister Popgoes. We got a render for Sinister Rat, which is very low res. This is the highest quality version I could find. We got Sinister Toy Chica, and she has some crazy looking eyes, and weirdly, I don't know what it is, but this render kind of looks like it was taken in the Gmod darkroom. Now, according to Fusion Z Gamer, this character in this image is Possessed Freddy. Now, I don't know what that means, because, like, isn't he already possessed? Chai Tea? It's, like, I don't know what's happening. We got Sinister and or Nightmare Ignited Chica, whichever one they feel like that day, I guess. Here we got Sinister Simon, and I don't think a lot of people even know who Simon is, so just, like, saying Sinister Simon among all these other characters is really funny to me. FNAF 1 Freddy. That's just him. No, nothing new. And then we also got FNAF 1 Bonnie, but then we got Nightmare FNAF 1 Chica and Sinister FNAF 1 Foxy. And Foxy here appears to have some black goo oozing out of his eye patch. Or it's just some really weird lighting. Here we got Nightmare Phantom Foxy, followed by Phantom Bonnie, which, you know, he wasn't in FNAF 3, so that's neat. Now we have FNAF 1 Withered Bonnie, which I guess if they're doing variants that aren't related to, like, Sinister or Nightmare, and, like, they're doing, like, Phantoms and stuff, I guess this makes sense, but this one feels very out of place to me. Then we got a teaser that says, what can we use with this really cool render, but it took me a bit to figure out what this was, and from what I can see, this is a character named Cerebrius, at least according to what the Sinister Turmoil wiki says. And this appears to be an amalgamation of all the Sinister animatronics, similar to, like, Creation from the Joy of Creation story mode. This was likely intended to be a final boss type character in the story mode of Sinister Turmoil. Here we got a Balloon Boy render that further confirms that yes, Sinister Balloon Boy is a unique design. Then we got another render of Cerebrius, if that's even his name. I genuinely have no idea what this is, but you know, it looks kind of cool. I like it. Here we got the FNAF 4 bedroom, which is an interesting teaser, and this is definitely in-engine. Like, that is definitely a game map. That is a crusty Unity screenshot. Then we got this screenshot of what appears to be a prison of some sorts. Here we got another screenshot of the player's hand reaching over and looking over and seeing Sinister Freddy in the room. Standing there as always, he's never doing anything. Sinister Freddy really is the king of giving us nothing.
Hey, my son! I hate my son!
Got a supposed multiplayer screenshot, which is a animatronic point of view, I assume, using night vision to spot a human player character. And this teaser is followed up by another one, which seems to be from the player's perspective of being attacked by Sinister Freddy. I take back everything I said. He's actually doing something. I'm so proud of him. And wow, okay, looks like we're done. Just kidding, there's two more. I bet I tricked you. I bet I did. Here we got this thug gangster Springtrap. Look at that pose he's doing. Now, if you can't read, it does say this is Nightmare Springtrap and not Sinister Springtrap. You can seemingly tell by the fact that Nightmare Springtrap has eyes and Sinister Springtrap does not. Here we got our one and only video of the UI menu actually functioning, and we can see it as a customization screen for Sinister Spring Bonnie. And you can change his eye color, you can make his teeth green. Okay. This menu's kind of funny. It's neat though. I like that there's customization for the animatronics. It seemed like a big draw for the multiplayer was that there's going to be a lot of customization for your animatronics, which is cool. That's something I wish And then
FNAF
we got
AR did.
Nightmare, Sinister, Freddy with a completely different UI menu, and I don't really know why it's different now, but okay. And just look at that model. That is a beautiful thing right there. This is one of the all-time greats. Okay, I'm gonna be honest though, the way they did like his eyes and stuff, this Sinister Nightmare Freddy model has a very menacing aura. You can almost say it's a sinister aura. Sinister is our new buzzword and you're gonna like it. Okay, now the well is dried up for the original version of the game. What the hell do I talk about? Sinister Turmoil Sewers? So I couldn't get Sinister Turmoil Sewers running on my computer, so I had to have my friend Tracey do it, so thank you, Tracey. Comment, thank you, Tracey.
I think so. That's Freddyland.
Dude, that's the puppet's eyes are gonna show up in the clouds.
If it does, this actually is just genuinely a reference. That'd be really funny.
Supplies. I know I saw them.
Yay, it's finally the game.
Oh yeah. Mario,
Oh yeah, them turmoil, that's them Sinister so turmoil and sewers.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Wazzy is swimming. Call the hamster!
So, after the long opening, I was really thinking to myself, did we lose the plot, or was there just never a plot to begin with? Because, really, I want to think about this for a minute. What is Sinister Turmoil? What does the title mean? It's sinister? Turmoil? What do these two words have to do with each other, and how does it relate to FNAF? I feel like you could call any horror game a Sinister Turmoil. Is the appeal seeing all your favorite FNAF characters turned into a sinister form? Apparently not, because the official reboot was just gonna do original designs. Is it the multiplayer aspect? Well, apparently not, because the reboot doesn't have that. Is it the story mode?
Oh, so that's what it... Okay.
This is a little parade. Look, we're all friends.
It does. It plays parade music and they all follow it.
It's just gonna despawn, and then Mangle's gonna kill you immediately.
I only have, I have Ban 1 and I have Ban 2, and Ban 2 crashed made my computer blue screen.
Avery, look at my screen.
That's what's going on there.
There's another
Mark?
green wrench?
That's awesome.
Why is there two?
Blue key card. This is the
Two greens with one
Oh
wrench.
my fucking god!
So after going through the experience of Sinister Turmoil Sewers, I'm honestly just kind of at a loss at, like, how this is, like, related, but at the same time, I don't know how it was supposed to stay related. What the hell even was Sinister Turmoil? What was that? It's so hard to define what this even means. But the Sinister Turmoil reboot takes place in a theme park, which I thought the point was to explore abandoned buildings and stuff. I don't know. This is basically just an unrelated fan game that Sinister Turmoil's name was slapped onto, and the full game was cancelled and the only one that released was Sewers, but it's still just so confusing. Like, the only one that released, which was Sinister Turmoil Sewers, features Mangle, which is one of the characters that was not in the original. I don't have anything against this project, I just don't know, like, why the Sinister Turmoil name even has to be attached to it, because it is completely unrelated in every single way. And can we be honest, was this concept even good enough to even warrant being rebooted? Like, yeah, I get it's a popular fan game topic, but, like, I feel like the concept for Sinister Turmoil was such a product of its time, and changing that much about it kind of just makes it not the same thing anymore whatsoever. It's such a hyper-specific, edgy 2016 FNAF fan game thing, and I really don't think it has a place anywhere else. Everything about the original version of it was kind of just novel for the time. And I sincerely don't mean to sound disrespectful towards any developers. There's a lot of really cool things they're doing, I just don't see how this thing correlates to this thing. Now, I didn't get to play Sinister Turmoil Sewers myself, as I said, it wouldn't run on my computer, but my friend Tracey, who played it, didn't like it very much. Yup. Let's get into wrapping this up, okay? I got my thoughts in order. Sinister Turmoil might have not been all that, but it truly was nostalgic. And it had soul. How can something be so sinister yet so comforting? Is what Scott Cawthon said when regarding Sinister Turmoil, and I can't think of a better way to describe it. So with all that being said, what the hell's the difference between Nightmare Ignited Freddy and Sinister Ignited Freddy?